Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel. In this short video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous night of the local time. Zelensky finished his trip in the United States of America with nothing. According to information we have, Joe Biden said he approved the allocation of new 200 million military aid package to Ukraine, but this is not something new. This is the part of the military aid that was confirmed during 2023. Furthermore, CNN noted very interesting thing that Biden changed his rhetoric on aid to Ukraine at a press conference with Zelensky. Biden used to say as long as needed, and now he says as long as possible. So basically Zelensky returns back home to Ukraine with nothing. Not just he returned back to home to Ukraine with nothing, basically he returns back to collapsed Ukraine as a result of Russian hacker attack, because one of the most important strategical company like Kyivstar can start working in as little as a week, so it's a very big timing. Furthermore, during the previous night, the Russians made massive missile strike above the entire Ukraine, and there were a lot of explosions in Kiev, and the most important, that military alarm was turned on after the Russians finished the strike. So this is another thing about the results of hacker jam that the Russians made yesterday on the 12th of December. Now we are moving to the south. Very interesting updates. Another interesting episode of democracy come from Ukraine. On this video we could see another act of democracy from Ukraine, and on this video we see how another Ukrainian man wanted to become F-16 pilot, but for some reason the Ukrainians could provide him and could give him just to be Leopard or Challenger tank driver. So he was so upset, and so that's why he was fighting with the Ukrainian military authorities. Now we are moving to the situation on the ground, and the most important update is coming from Marinka. According to information we have, the Russians, as a result of very fierce battles and clashes that have been taking place for the previous 18 months, managed to establish control over the edge building in Marinka by establishing the flag. So this is the third flag that the Russians established in this area, and we can say that Marinka controlled by the Russians for around 98%, because there are still few streets, few buildings that under Ukrainian control. And we are talking about the northwest part of this village. So to establish 100% control over the city, over the village, the Russians still need to take under control these streets and these buildings. And after that, we can say about 100% control over the village. But obviously the Russians maybe will not do this, maybe they will, but it doesn't matter. The most important, most difficult part of Marinka was captured by the Russians, which opened them gates and possibilities to continue their offensive operation further to the south in direction of Novomikhailivka, in direction of Pobeda, and of course in direction of Ugledar. And today we got the report that the Russians launched their offensive operation in direction of Novomikhailivka after a very short operational pause. Now we're moving to Avdiivka. We got also very interesting updates from this territory, a lot of very interesting geolocations, and the most important are coming from the northern part, from Stepova. According to information we have, the pro-Ukrainian sources have updated their map. This is the source by the name of Cyber Baroshna. They geolocate things as military summary do, and they do a lot of different things, and they are saying today they published new version of their map saying that they have updated their map based on the words of the soldiers on the ground. And according to them, the Russians established control over this territory of Stepova. So basically this tree line is under complete Russian control. Furthermore, the Russians, according to that source, have control over these tree lines as well. Maybe some part of these tree lines are in the gray zone, but we see that the Russians continue maintaining their foothold on the Ukrainian side of the railways, and the total length of this foothold is around 3 kilometers. The Russians need 3 more, and then they're going to have like broad front line possibilities to attack the Ukrainians. Furthermore, the Russians published the video of bombardments in Novokalinovo, the city that located on the north of Krasnogorovka. Currently, we can say that this is also maybe a possible part of upcoming offensive operation to the north, with the purpose from the Russian side to develop their foothold in this area as well. When talking about southern part, most of the mappers have already updated their maps, showing that this territory is under Russian control for now. Military summary haven't received any single geolocated confirmation of that, so for now we're not going to change the color of this territory, just to keep it as a gray zone, but as soon as we get one, we will update the map. Now we are moving to Bakhmut-Artyomov's direction, and we have also lots of updates from this territory, and the most important one is coming from this residential area from Chernobylets Dachi, so this area. If you remember, yesterday we have already discussed that this territory was captured by the Russians because we had some geolocations of Russian storming operation, and today we got another geolocation that was published by the Ukrainian side. We will not watch this video due to casualties and losses among the Russians, and on this video the Ukrainian FPV drone operators were bombing the Russian forces in this village. So basically that video confirms that the Russians, at least the minimal progress of the Russians in this area is this one. Probably the Russians controlled bigger part, but this is like the real confirmation with geolocation. Furthermore, the Russians confirms about some progress and also published geolocations, how they were clearing the Pitomnik fortification. And as you can see, we will also not watch this video, at least complete, because there are also a lot of casualties and losses and death among Ukrainian soldiers. So this is like 100% confirmation of Russian control in the strategical hill on the south of Bogdanovka. Now we are moving further to the north, and we have updated the map a little bit further to the north, as Syriac maps also did this. So most of the mappers continued the updates of this the area along the railways in direction of Vyimka. So the situation for the Ukrainians in this area is also getting critical. When talking about Kupin's direction, we got few updates, few geolocations, and one of them is that another update in the forest between Liman Pervy and Sinkovka. As a result of Russian offensive operation, few more checkpoints and strongholds in the forest were captured by the Russians. So the Russians continue advancing to the Sinkovka, and today we got probably 100th confirmation or update that the Russians entered the northern part of this village and trying to dig in deeper. For now, we haven't received even a single geolocated confirmation of that. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes to my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.